Hi everyone and welcome to chapter 5. In this recording we are going to discuss about how to calculate forwards and future prices and how to do an arbitrage when the calculated price and the actual prices are different. So what I'm going to do before we go through the presentation, we are going to discuss an Excel sheet. So this is a short Excel sheet that I have prepared that covers the whole chapter. So there are 11 points that we are going to discuss. So first of all, what is a forward or a future price? So I'll open another sheet and explain it to you. So forward or future in this chapter are considered means the same thing. So forward and future prices are the price that you estimate is going to be in the future. For example, let's say you're trading on gold and the gold price right now is 1800 bucks. Okay. And you want to buy or sell gold. Now, let's say you want to buy or sell gold after 4 months. Okay. So what price can you buy or sell gold after 4 months at? Right? So that is nothing but the future price. Future or forward? Future or forward price is the price that which you can buy or sell gold after 4 months at. Now what does that future or forward price depend on? It depends on the concept of no arbitrage. What does no arbitrage means? That right now a person should not be able to profit by doing something with forward and doing something with spot. So it depends on the concept of no arbitrage. So once again, what are forwards and future prices? They are prices you expect to buy or sell the asset in future, right? And they are derived, they are structured using the concept of no arbitrage. Now, the first and easiest example is what is the forward price if spot is given and interest rate, risk-free rate and T is given. Okay, so let's take an example here. So first of all, I'll copy the formula and explain it to you. And we are then going to discuss about arbitrage too. So this is the formula. Forward price of any commodity or any financial assets when other complications are not given equals the current spot price into exponential to the power r to the power t. So what are we doing? We are compounding. This is important. We are compounding spot price into the future. At risk-free rate. In the last class we discussed whenever there is e to the power positive stuff, then it is compounding. Whenever there is e to the power of negative stuff, it is discounting. So how do we always find the future price? We find the future price by compounding the spot into the future. So let's take an example. So gold is given to you. So gold is traded at $1,800 right now. Then risk-free, this is the spot price. So let's call it SO, spot price. Risk-free rate R is given to you. Okay. Risk-free rate in everything in the book considers that you are domiciled in United States. So risk-free rate in let's say US is 2% for the year. And for ease, we should always consider continuous rates. If the rates are not continuous, you have to find continuous rates by using the natural log function that we did it in the last class. But for simplicity, let us assume that the rates are continuous. Okay. And time is you are buying a contract for 3 months. So 3 months is, there are 12 months in a year, so 3 months is 25% of the year. So how would you calculate future price or forward price? So forward price or future price F0 equals spot price 1800 multiplied by exponential e to the power 2%, that is interest rate continuous, into 0.25, because the time frame is 3 months, not the whole year. So it is 0.25. So forward price for gold, considering that the risk-free rate is 2% and the time duration is for 3 months, it should be 1809. Okay, this should be the calculated no arbitrage forward price. Now the forward price in the markets can differ than these prices. Now there can be various reasons, so supply and demand, then constraints on producing gold, then problems with the suppliers, problems with the consumers, all those things, pandemics. So all this can result in forward prices being different than calculated forwards. This was the calculated forward price, considering that there is no arbitrage, but the forward price in actual life can be different. So if forward price is different, then we are going to discuss arbitrage. So this was our calculated forward price. So there is arbitrage when actual forward is different than calculated forward. F0 is going to be always the calculated forward price, considering no arbitrage. So actual forward can be different than calculated forward. So we can consider, let's say in first case, that the actual forward price FA for gold in the market is 1820. So it is higher than 1809 that we calculated. Okay, so what would you do? So if actual forward price is greater than the calculated, that is FA in the market is greater than F0, what will you do? You can make easy profits. How do you do that? Borrow spot at interest rate. So you will borrow 1800 bucks, that was the spot, at risk-free rate 2% for 25% of the year, that is for 3 months. That's the first thing. Then you will buy the asset, so you will buy gold at 1800. Okay, and then you will enter into forward contract to sell it. So this is how you do an arbitrage if forward price is greater than the calculated forward price. The actual forward price is greater than calculated forward price. So what is happening? You're borrowing some money, buying the actual assets and entering into a forward contract to sell it. Now how will that work? So you borrowed 1800 bucks at 2% for 25% of the year. So how much do you have to pay back when the contract matures? You have to pay back, let's calculate that, 1800 bucks into exponential, because we always use continuous compounding, 2% into 0.25. So you have to pay back when the contract matures 1909, but you are selling the gold you have at forward price. What was the forward price? Forward price was 1920. So how much profit did you get? How much arbitrage profit did you get? Arbitrage profit is actual forward price minus calculated forward price. So arbitrage in this case equals forward price actual minus forward price 0. So you had to pay back the loan at 1809, but you got 1920 from selling gold. So you made a profit of $10. This happened because actual forward price was greater than calculated forward. The other way around, if actual forward price FA is less than calculated forward F0. So in this case, let's say FA is 1800 instead of 1809. Or let's make it, because 1800 we already have. So let's say it's 1750 instead of 1809. 1750 is too far away. I'm consider 1790. Okay. So 1790 is the actual forward price. Your calculated price is 1809.02. So actual forward is less than calculated forward. So how would you arbitrage? You will short 1 unit of assets to get the spot price, invest that spot price R for the time period T, and enter into a forward contract to buy the asset. So what are you going to do? You're going to short sell gold at 1800. So whenever you short sell, you receive 1800. Okay. Then you invest 1800 at 2% risk-free rate for 3 months. So 0.25. That is nothing but 1800 compounded by exponential to the power 2% into 0.25. So you got 1809. Now you're going to enter into a forward contract to buy the asset at the actual forward price. So you're going to buy gold, because whenever you short sell anything, you have to return back that asset. So you're going to buy gold at FA. FA is what? 1790. So how much profit did you make? So you got 1809 by investing 1800 that you short sell for, and you're paying 1790 for that to get back the asset. So actual profit you are going to make is $19. So actual profit in this case, arbitrage profit, equals F0. I'll write it in one go. Equals F0, right? That was the calculated forward minus FA. So how to remember this discussion? If FA is greater than F0, that is the actual forward is greater than calculated forward, you have to remember in your mind that you are going to always eventually sell actual forward, because forward is expensive than calculations. So you're going to sell forwards, right? And if forwards are cheaper than calculated forwards, then you're going to buy forwards. Okay, so you're going to sell forwards if FA is expensive than F0, and if FA is cheaper than F0, you're going to buy forwards. And arbitrage is FA minus F0 in case FA is expensive. Arbitrage is F0 minus FA in case FA is cheaper. So this was forward contract pricing without any complications, as well as forward arbitrage opportunity. The next is sometimes you have a spot that pays a fixed investment. Example could be a coupon paying bond. Okay, coupon paying bond. So in coupon paying bond, what happens? During the duration, you're going to get a fixed investment from that bond, right? So in that case, how do you determine few forward prices? So in that case, I somehow deleted that. So let's open a new sheet. So we are discussing this. So I'll just copy it there. Not this one, this one. Okay. So we are discussing determining future or forward price when income is involved. When income is involved. So how do you do that? So always you have to remember that whenever you do futures and options, whatever income you get from the asset, you have to pay it back to the actual holder. So what happens is the forward price whenever income is involved equals spot price minus present value of income into exponential to the power r by t. So we'll take an example so that you understand. So imagine you're investing in a future contract on a bond with spot value, spot price 1000, okay, and the bond has maturity of, let's say, 2 quarters, so that is 6 months, but that is the forward has the maturity, not the bond can be longer. So forward has the maturity time frame, forward has the maturity of 6 months, but in 3 months you are going to be paid $5, which is the coupon. So how to do that? So you are investing in a bond, you are getting into forward contract on a bond that has spot price of 1000 and has a maturity of 6 months, but in 3 months you are going to be paid $5 coupon and they are giving you risk-free rate R as 2%. Now how to calculate this thing? So forward price on such a bond would be equals to spot in bracket spot price that you already have minus present value of income, that is I, into exponential function to the power R by T. So first things first, we know everything. We know spot price, we know R, we know T. T is 6 months, so 0.5, right? So 12 months in a year, 6 by 12 is 0.5. So we know everything except present value of income. So we know we are going to get $5 after 3 months. So what is present value of $5 after 3 months? At 2% interest. So present value, we have already seen it in last class, equals $5 the coupon payment minus, always we use exponential functions to discount or to compound. Whenever we discount, we use minus sign. So exponential function minus sign, 2% is the interest rate into what is the time frame? 3 months out of 12 years, 12 months. 3 months out of 12 months. So if you calculate that, it comes to 4.975062. So if you put it in formula, future price of a bond equals $1000 is the face value or spot value minus 4.975062 5062 is the in present value of income multiplied by exponential interest rate is 2% and time is 6 months divided by 12. So forward price for this bond is going to be 1005.025. Okay. So this is how you calculate forward price when an income is given. But sometimes instead of income they may give you yield. So whenever yield is given, you have to make sure that it is continuously compounded, and then we use formula. So let's discuss that. So let's calculate forward price on an RBC stock when yield is given. Okay, so let's actually do it. I haven't done it in a while. Markets are down today. It has to be Royal Bank of Canada. Toronto. So spot price is 93. So spot price is given to you 93. Okay, spot price is given 93. Then what else is given? Dividend yield is known 4.52. Dividend yield 4.52. Okay, percent. Always use percentage. Risk-free rate, let's assume it is 2%. You have to calculate future price. If you are trading in, let's make it easy, 1 year contract. So time T is 1. Now dividend yield, let's say risk-free rate is continuously compounded. But most of the dividend yield are mentioned as annual. So how do you find continuous effective rate? So continuous effective rate is always natural log of 1 plus interest rate, annual interest rate. So continuous effective, this was from last class. You always need continuous rates. So if they have mentioned continuous rate, take it as it is. But if they have mentioned annual rate, you need to convert it to continuous. So we got the continuous rate, we got the risk-free rate, we know the time, we know the spot. So let's put it in formula. So forward price or future price for RBC for a 1 year contract is spot price 93 into exponential to the power R minus Q. So one more bracket. R is 2%, Q is 4.42%, and multiplied by T. T is 1 year, so 1. So forward or future price should be close to 90.77. So instead of income, they are giving you a yield. Generally, they may give you yield for a bond, they may give you a yield for a stock. So in that case, you use this formula instead of calculating present value of income. Okay. Okay. Again, whenever you do that, please make sure that the yield is continuously compounded. The next concept that we are going to discuss is value of a forward contract. So what is value? So value of a forward contract means, let's say we got into an RBC in the RBC contract, like in the previous case, but the price of RBC has changed in 6 months. So 6 months have passed out of that 1 year and price of RBC has changed. So future or forward would either lead in profit, either will be in profit or loss depending on your position. So if you're long, then you will be making profit if market goes up. If you're short, you'll be making profit if market goes down. So how to find out the value of that profit or loss? How much profit or loss you're going to make in futures? So how to do that? So it depends on whether you're long or whether you're short. So for using long, we calculate value of forward, that is profit and loss in the forward, equals S0, that is the current spot, minus K to the power, K is the expiry price of the actual forward that you had got, into exponential discounted by RT. So it will be more clear, and short is the other way around. So K into exponential minus RT minus S0. So let's take an example. So let us say we got into a gold contract, right? 6 months back. 6 months have passed. It's an annual contract. So there are 6 months remaining. The contract was so let's say two individuals did the other, means both sides. So Harry and Brianna. Okay. So Harry was long and Brianna was short. Now both were long and short at, let's say, 1700. So Harry was long at 1700, Brianna was short at 1700. The current spot is 1800 bucks. You want to find out value for long and value for short. So how to do that? So let's do it. Well, let's use the formula. Some few other things are important for you. Risk-free rate R is 2%. So how do you find value for Harry? Value is nothing but profit or loss. So how do you calculate that? Equals to current spot 1800 minus 1700 that's the spot before, like that's the future price K. K is always the future price. Whenever, I mean, in past, whenever you got into that future, what was the price that was decided? So 1700 is the future price into exponential minus 2% into how many months are remaining. So 6 months are remaining on the contract for 12 months. So 6 divided by 12. So the answer is Harry would be in profit of $116 on this contract. Value for Brianna would be, once again, in short it is opposite. First you will consider K e to the power R by T minus the current spot. So it is 1700 into exponential to the power 2% always negative sign, discounting 2% into 0.5, that is 6 by 12, and the whole thing minus 1800. So same, the market has gone up for gold, so whoever is long would be making money. How much money? 116. And how much would be Brianna losing? Brianna would be, who is short, will be losing 116. So this was when a simple thing is given, like without any income or without any yield. So if income and yields are given, how to do that? So value of a forward when income is given is current spot minus present value of income to be received minus the future price that you, future or forward price that was given, that is given, into exponential R by T. T is always the remaining time on the contract. So let's do that. So let's say you got into a bond, like let's say it's a 6-month bond contract. The original duration was 6 months. Okay. Past time is 3 months. So 3 months have already passed. Then the current spot for the bond is, spot as S0 is, let's say 900. Bond has dropped 900, and you are expected to receive an income on bond for $10, okay, after 3 months. Some things are given. R is given to you. R is 2%. How do you find value of this forward? So value of this forward equals current spot 900. Okay, one more thing, you need K, expiry. So let's say K, that is the price at which you buy or sell, was $800 when you got into this contract. So how do you find value? Value of this forward equals current spot, that is 900, the current spot value, minus present value of income. So income, you're going to receive 10. How do you calculate present value? Exponential negative sign, right? Interest rate 2%, and after how much time are you going to get it? You're going to get it in 3 months. So that is 25%. So you're going to get it in 3 months divided by 12. So this was present value of income. Now you need to have 800, that is the strike price you entered into exponential R remaining time frame, R interest rate, sorry, 2%, into T remaining time frame. So 3 divided by 12. So you would be losing, did I put interest signs everywhere? Oh, I did multiply. It should be minus, that's why it went to 7,000. So you would be making $86 on this bond contract because price has gone up from 800, that is your price, to 900 now. Okay, this is how to calculate when income is given. When yield is given, it is little bit more easier. So let's say we are calculating it for RBC. You got in, it was an 1 year contract. 6 months have passed and few things are given. Dividend yield is given to you of 4.5%. Okay, exercise price when you entered was 90. Current RBC price, let's just assume it is 100, and R is given to you, that is 2%, that is interest rate. How do you calculate future price in that case? So future price in that case, when yield is given, is spot price, current spot price, multiplied by exponential to the power minus dividend or income yield into remaining time. So you discount spot by income and you compound K, that is expiry price, that means the forward price, you compound it by exponential R into T, that is whatever interest rate is given into T. So if you just put it in formula, note how I am doing it. Current spot 100 into exponential, you have to discount the spot by dividend yield. So minus 4.5% into T. T is 6 months have passed, 6 months are remaining, so 6 divided by 12. And again minus K. K is expiry price 90. Compound that by exponential 2% into T. T is 6 by 12. So you are in profit on this future contract if you entered this way by $6.87. This is how you calculate profits or value when income is known, when yield is known, when you're long or when you're short. Okay, so let's continue. So next is future price, how to calculate on an index. So index also are like stocks, they have dividend yield, so it is relatively easy, but there is also the question of arbitrage. So future price of an index F0 equals S0, that is current spot, multiplied by exponential R, that is risk-free rate, minus dividend yield Q, and then time. So let's do that. So let's say we are calculating S&P 500 future price. Okay. So let's do that. So let's check S&P 500's current level. So S&P 500 current level is this price. So spot is mentioned to you 33.44. Let's ignore the points. So 33.44. Okay. Dividend yield of S&P 500 is it mentioned here, or we can do it from Spider? Dividend yield of S&P 500. Let's look at S&P 500. It's not given, but I know you can calculate it as from an ETF on S&P 500. So let's say WOO. So WOO's ETF yield is 1.66%. So let's do that. So dividend yield is 1.66%. We always know dividend yield are generally mentioned annually, but for calculations we need a continuous yield. So continuous dividend yield is logarithm, natural log of 1 plus annual yield. So that is nothing but 1.646%. Let's assume that our discount rate is 2%. Risk-free rate is 2%. Now how do you calculate future price? Future price of this right now equals spot price, and this is calculated future. The actual future may be different. So spot price is 3344, okay, into exponential R is 2%, minus continuously compounded dividend yield 1.64% into T. T is, let's say it's a contract for 6 months. So 6 divided by 12. So future price for this contract should be 3349. So 3350 almost. Now the actual future can be different. So this was the calculated future. This is F0. The actual future can be different. So if actual future is different, there can be an arbitrage opportunity. So if actual future is greater than F0, so let's say you see the future price is actually 3400 instead of 3349. So what would you do? Actual future is greater than calculated future. So buy the stocks in underlying index and short the future contract. So you will buy contracts in underlying index. So you would buy contracts in underlying index like stocks that make S&P 500. So you will buy 500 stocks and short FA, that is future contract. Okay. If future contract, the actual future price is 3300 instead of 3349, that is future price is less than calculated, you will short sell the underlying index and go long on future contract. So it's very easy to remember. If the actual is expensive than calculated, you always go short on actual. If actual is less expensive, cheaper than calculated, you always go long on actual. Okay. This was index futures calculations. Next one is currency forwards and futures. So I'll copy this, then we'll take an example and then we'll discuss. Okay. Now, whenever you're looking at currency futures, there are few assumptions we make. First, we make an assumption that domestic currency is always USD. Okay. Next, R is risk-free rate in USD. Third, RF is risk-free rate in foreign currency. Okay, these are the assumptions we make, and then we calculate future price. F0 equals current spot price S0 into exponential R risk-free rate in US dollars minus risk-free rate in foreign currency into T. So let's do it. So let's say current exchange rate is 1.44. That is given to you. Current exchange rate between US dollars and any other currency in the world is 1.44. you're given few points. Risk-free rate in USD R is 2%. Risk-free rate in that currency is 3%. Okay, and time, you are getting into the contract for 2 years. Let's make it more fun. So time is 2. So what will be future price? So future price for this currency will be the current spot 1.44 into exponential, we compound it by R, risk-free rate 2%. So we need one more bracket. So risk-free rate 2% minus risk-free rate in domestic minus risk-free rate in foreign into time. Time is 2 years. So forward contract right now will be 1.41, and this is very logical. The interest rates in the foreign market are higher than domestic market, so foreign currency would generally appreciate in future. Okay, there is the Fisher's formula. Interest means exchange rate depends on two things: the inflation differential between two countries and interest rate differential between two countries. Okay, so this was calculated forwards. F0. Now again there is an arbitrage, and this you have to somehow understand. This is little tricky to understand. Currencies are always the most difficult derivatives to understand. Okay, so so there was some recording thing, so I had to restart. So let us assume few things are given. So we are again dealing with a 2-year contract. Now it is between Australian and US currency. Few things are given. Australian interest rate, Australian risk-free rate is 3%. US interest rate, US risk-free rate is 1%. Okay, the spot exchange rate is 0.75 USD per AUD, Australian dollars. Okay, now let us first calculate the spot rate, future rate. So calculated future rate F0, this is the calculated, not the actual. So calculated future rate F0 will be spot rate 0.75 multiplied by exponential function, interest rate in USD, so I'll need one more bracket, 1% minus interest rate in Australian dollars multiplied by 2, because 2 years. So spot rate is 0.726. Let's make it 6. Now let us say your actual forward, actual F, that is FA, actual future or forward rate is 0.7 instead of it's 0.7 instead of 0.72. So what is happening? The forward rate, actual forward rate is less than F0. So what would you do? You will do these things. So let's see what you will do. You will borrow foreign currency at RF. So let us say we are borrowing 1000 AUD, Australian dollars, at 3% for 2 years. So we are borrowing. So when 2 years matures, at maturity, how much do you have to pay? So you have to pay 1000 into exponential. We always use exponential rates, 3% into 2. So you have to actually pay $1061.84 into when the contract matures. So borrow at foreign rate and borrow at foreign rate, convert it to domestic. So we borrowed, at maturity we have to pay this much. So first step was borrow. Second step, convert to domestic. So what is the domestic current exchange rate, current spot rate going on? Current spot rate is 0.75. So you're converting 1000 into 0.75 US dollars. So this is how much USD you get. Okay. Now this you would invest at US interest rate. So 1% for 2 years. So at maturity, you're going to get 765 USD, which you will convert into AUD at forward rates, because you went into a forward buy contract. So you will convert it into using the forward rate. So what is the forward rate? Forward rate is 0.7206. Sorry, 0.70. That was the actual forward rate. So how much AUD do you receive? So what is happening? You borrowed $1000 in, so you had to pay $1061 when the maturity happens after 2 years. But whatever you borrowed, you converted into USD, you invested at USD, in USD, and you actually got into a buy contract to convert these USD at the actual forward rate. So if you convert it, how much are you going to get? 765 divided by 0.7. So you're going to get $1093. So your arbitrage equals this minus what you paid. $31 risk free you're going to get. Why? Because the actual forward rate was different than your calculated forward. Calculated forward was 0.726, actual forward rate was 0.7. So how there was an arbitrage opportunity. How do you do an arbitrage opportunity? Borrow foreign currency at RF, convert it into domestic and invest it at R. So you borrowed $1000, converted into domestic, invested at R, then enter into a forward contract to convert this domestic currency into foreign at the given rate. So you converted 765 to AUD at 0.7, the forward contract. So your arbitrage profit is $31. Now what happens if this rate is actually 0.75? And let's make it 0.76. So it is greater than calculated forward. So forward actual rate is greater than calculated forward. So what do you do? In this case, I'll copy paste it, then we'll use it. So you borrow domestic at R. So let's say you're borrowing domestic. So you're borrowing 1000 USD at 1% for 2 years. So how much you have to pay when it matures? You have to pay $1000 you're borrowing, and you have to pay at 1% for 2 years. So you have to pay 1020 USD on the borrowing, right? Then what do? You convert this 1000 into foreign currency and invest it. So you are going to convert 1000 at 0.75, which is the current spot, into AUD, Australian dollars. So that becomes 1000 divided by 0.75, that is 1333 AUD. This 1333 AUD you are going to invest for 2 years in at 3% interest. So how much you get at maturity? 1333 is invested at 3% interest for 2 years. So you're going to get 1415. And finally, you'll enter into a forward contract to convert that foreign currency into domestic currency. So forward contract right now, not 0.75, we should have actually used the spot rate. You always convert it at spot rate, 7206. So this should be 1000 getting converted into spot rate of 0.726. So 1387 you received in AUD, you invested it for 2 years at 3%, so you got 1473, which you will use forward contracts to convert back into USD. So you will use current forward price 0.76 to convert into, sorry, you're converting, so 0.76. So how much money you got? 1119. How much you had to pay? 1020 for the borrowing. So this was in USD. So your profit is this you got minus this you had to pay. So almost 99 bucks you got in arbitrage. So this is not very important, but you need to remember what you have to do. So just to summarize, forward contracts on currency, you will always see two rates, domestic rate R and domestic risk-free rate R, and on foreign risk-free rate RF. So first calculate the forward. F0 equals S0, that is current spot, into exponential R minus RF into T, right? If forward price are greater than F0, borrow domestic at R, convert it into foreign and invest it at foreign rate. Enter into a forward contract to convert that thing into domestic, so you can get arbitrage profit. And same way, if calculated actual future price is less than calculated future price, borrow foreign currency at RF, convert it to domestic, invest it at R, enter into a forward contract to buy currency at forward rate. Okay. So futures and forwards on currencies are over. Important thing, RF would be mentioned. Futures are on commodities. There are a couple of things you have to remember. So I'll just copy paste it and briefly discuss it. Futures on commodities, how to calculate the future price? Similar, spot price into exponential R into T, that is normally how you calculate it. But sometimes they may give you, because commodities you accept unless and until it is gold or silver, right? Commodities will have storage cost involved. So if storage cost is given, then you have to consider that storage cost. So S0 plus U e to the power R by T, where U is present value of storage cost. Or sometimes they give you storage yield, that is smaller u, which is storage yield. So whenever yield is given, storage yield is given or storage cost is given, if cost is given, F0 equals S0 plus U e to the power RT. If storage yield is given, F0 equals S0 e to the power R U by T. So let's do that. So let's say you're getting into a 1 year oil contract. Oil is currently $40. Okay, so that is spot. It's a 1 year contract, so T is 1. Interest rates R are 2%. Okay, let's say they're giving you storage cost is at the end. Storage cost is to be paid at the end and it is $3. So how do you calculate forward price? So first of all, you need to calculate U, that is present value of storage cost. So U equals 3 storage cost that you paid, that you are going to pay at the end of the contract, into exponential interest. You're discounting, you're calculating present value. So present value we always discount 2% into 1, because number of year is means time is 1 year. So 2.94 is the storage cost. So forward price will be spot price, that is 40, plus storage cost, present value of storage cost 2.94, let's do 94, okay, into exponential R and T. So 2% and T is 1. So forward price for crude will be $43 if the storage cost for 1 year is $2.94 paid at the end. Sometimes storage costs are given in percentage. So let's say spot is 40, time is 1, interest rate is 2%, but instead of storage cost paid at the end, they are saying you storage cost is in percentage and it is 1% of spot price. So what do? You straight away calculate the forward price because it is given in percentage. So it will be 40 into exponential, we are using this formula, R 2%. So I'll open one more bracket, 2% plus storage cost 1% into T, that is 1. So future price becomes 41.21. So whenever storage cost is given, then you have to use this formula. Okay, same way there could be an arbitrage possibility. So we know whenever storage cost is given, this is the future price, either using S0 plus U or using yield. So when is the arbitrage possibility there? So arbitrage possibility would be there if this was the calculated forward. So this was F0. So arbitrage possibility would be there if the actual futures or forwards are different than the calculated. If actual future is greater than calculated one, so let's say it is 45 versus 43, you will borrow spot plus the storage cost at risk-free rate and purchase the asset, pay the storage, and short a future on commodities. So whenever FA is more, we short. When FA is less, we go long. And if instead of 45, the actual future is trading at 40, what would you do? You will sell the commodity, save the storage cost, and invest the proceeds at risk-free and take the long position in future. So things to remember: whenever forward is less than the actual forward is less than calculated forwards, you go short. More you go short, and less you take long position. So sell the commodity, save the storage cost, and invest the proceeds into risk free. Okay, so this was arbitrage. Then sometimes on commodities they will give you convenience yield and cost of carry. Okay, so this is future price with convenience yield, and this is future price with cost of carry. So what is convenience yield? Convenience yield is sometimes if you are producer or consumer of that asset, having that asset is important. It increases in some profits to you. So let's say you are a refinery. Having oil right now in your inventory is good because you can convert that oil into some byproduct. Let's say you're a plastic manufacturer from oil. Having oil is always good rather than having future contracts. Having actual asset is actually good. So convenience yield is when you are benefiting from having the actual assets versus owning the future. So convenience yield is calculation of that. Cost of carry is the other way around. If you are actually having that asset, then you may have to spend something, okay, to carry that asset. So that is considered to be cost of carry. So when convenience yield is given, we use this formula to calculate future price. When cost of carry is given, we use this formula, and cost of carry and convenience yield both are given. We use this formula to calculate. So let's do that. So let's say we are discussing crude. Spot price is 40. Risk free rate is 2%. Convenience yield is 1%. That is given to you. Then the carrying cost U is cost of carry, and carrying cost is different. Storage cost is different. U is storage cost. Cost of carry means how much you are paying versus how much you are getting by owning that asset. Okay. So storage cost is, let's say, 0.5%. Okay. So I have to expand it. And they're also giving you cost of carry. C. Cost of carry is, let's say, 2.5%. Or let's say 3%. Make it 3%. Then how do you do it? Let's use both formulas. So based on convenience yield, F0 equals to zoom out a bit. Okay, so F0 equals S0 spot price 40 into exponential, we always compound, R rate of interest 2% plus storage cost 1% like we did in the last example, minus the convenience yield. Convenience yield is 1%. Sorry, cost of carry was 0.5, U was 0.5, and convenience yield was 1%. And let's say time is for 1 year. So this whole thing into 1. So future price will be 40.60. The future price based on cost of carry equals spot price 40 into exponential cost of carry 3% minus convenience yield 1%. Convenience yield Y was 1% into T. T is 1. So 40.80. So based on cost of carry and based on convenience yield. So in problems, see whatever is given and based on that take a call whether you have to use this formula or this formula. If cost of carry is given this, if storage cost and risk-free rate is given, then use this formula. Then last thing, this whole discussion, so let's zoom out so that you can see it. This whole discussion states that forward price are also a function of estimated spot price. What is estimated spot price? It is what could be the spot price after when the contract ends. It is not the current spot price. So what is the market expectation of gold? We were discussing gold. Gold is at 1800. So future price are also a function of whatever the market expectation would be after 3 months, if it is a 3 months contract. So how to do that? Future price equals estimated spot price, EST, into exponential R minus K, where K is the forward price. Forward price you got into to the power T. R is risk-free rate. So whenever there is systematic risk, there is no systematic risk, spot price, that is future price, is always equal to estimated spot price. If there is systematic risk, K is greater than R, so the discount rate that you are using is greater than risk-free rate, so the asset is more risky than the treasury bills, then forward price will be less than estimated spot. If there is negative systematic risk, that is the discount rate you are using, the asset you are investing in is less risky than risk-free rate, then forward rate will be greater than estimated spot. So this is whole of chapter 5. So what we are going to do is we are going to discuss the PowerPoints. So let's start chapter 5. So first, the book talks about what is the difference between consumption assets and investment asset. Consumption means you're using it for production as well as means you're either a producer or consumer, so you're going to use it in your business. Investment means gold, silver, financial assets, currencies. You're just using it for investment. So investment assets are assets held by many traders purely for investment purpose. Example, gold, silver, and most financial assets. Consumption assets are assets held for consumption. Example, copper, oil, etc. Now, future prices depend on the concept of arbitrage. For doing arbitrage, you need short selling. So short selling involves selling securities that you do not own. Your broker borrows the security from another client and sells them in the market in the usual way. Okay. At some stage, you must buy back the securities that you have borrowed and replace it. You must pay dividend and other benefits that the owner of the security receives. There may be a small fee to borrow the securities. Example they have given, you short 100 shares when the price is 100 and close out the position 3 months later when the price is 90. During the 3 months period, you had to pay a dividend of $3. So what is your profit? Your profit is $10. So you actually borrowed it, sold it at 100 and you bought back at 90. So the profit here is $10, but out of that profit, $3 you had to pay back. So actual profit is $7. So loss if the shares were bought at $100. So notion for valuing futures and options, which we discussed at length in that Excel file. So S0 is spot price today, F0 is futures price that we are going to calculate, T is time until delivery, that is remaining, and R is the risk-free rate. So is there an arbitrage possibility? The spot price for a non-dividend paying stock is 40. The forward price is 43. The risk-free rate is 5%, right? Is there an arbitrage? So how do you do it? You always calculate the forward price F0. So it is 40 into exponential 5% into 3 by 12, that is 25%. So whatever F0 you get, you compare it with the actual spot, the actual forward price. So once again, calculate the forward price F0, compare it with FA. FA is the actual forward price, like we did it in the Excel file. So if it is less, there is arbitrage. If it is greater, then there is arbitrage too. Okay. Same way they are giving, if forward rate was 39, so is there an arbitrage? So answer would be yes in both the cases. There could be arbitrage, but you have to calculate forward price for that. So they are doing it. Always calculate F0. F0 is 40 spot into 1.05 to the power 0.25, so that is 40.50. So this is the formula they are using, and if the arbitrage is there, if it is for different than 40.50, 40.50 is the price that they use. If it is different, then there is arbitrage. And instead of using 1 plus interest rate, we use exponential. So we don't do that actually. This is not the right formula to calculate it. We use exponential, S0 e to the power r by t. Okay. If short sales are not possible, the formula still works, because then you can borrow money, buy the asset, then sell it, and then return the borrowed money. So it still works. Okay, sometimes income is there, so the formula changes to S0 minus I is the present value of that income, e to the power r by t. This also we saw in the Excel file. Sometimes income is there, but income is in the form of yield. So first convert that yield into continuous compounding, then use this formula. F0 equals S0 exponential risk-free rate minus Q, that is the income yield, to the power, means into T. A forward contract, whenever we are valuing forward contract, a forward contract is worth 0 when it is initiated, but later on it may have positive or negative value. So if K is the delivery price and F0 is the current spot, means current forward price, then we saw how to calculate that. We used a little bit different formula. Instead of F0, we use spot price, but this leads to the same formula, but my formula is little bit easier than what's given on the slides. So go back to the Excel and see how to value forward contracts. The answer would be same. When maturity and asset price are the same, forwards and future price are usually assumed to be equal. Example, euro dollar futures are an exception, because the currencies are different. When interest rates are uncertain, there is a theory that there is a strong positive correlation between interest rate and asset price. Implies that the future price is slightly higher than the forward price. A strong correlation implies negative. So just this is given in the book. This is called as backwardation or contango. So sometimes the future prices are more, sometimes the future prices are less. It depends on interest rates. Stock index, how to value a stock index future. We saw that it can be viewed as an investment asset paying a dividend yield. So F0 equals spot price, E R minus Q. Q is the dividend yield to the power T. Stock index, for the formula to be true, it is important that index represents an investment asset. In other words, changes in index must correspond to change in the value of tradable portfolio. So the issue that the book says is, sometimes if the assets are not in US dollars, then it becomes an issue. So if you're trading in United States, but you're trading on Nikkei. Now Nikkei is not in US dollars, is it in Japanese yen? So then the equation may not hold true. Index arbitrage, we saw, if actual future price is greater than calculated future price, buy the stocks and sell the futures. If actual future price is less than the calculated future price, then buy the futures and sell the stocks. Index arbitrage involves simultaneous trades in futures and many different stocks. Very often a computer used to generate trades, because you have to buy, if you are trading on S&P 500, you have to buy and sell 500 stocks. That's not possible manually. Occasionally simultaneous trades are not possible and there could be a no arbitrage relationship. So in real life arbitrage may not be that easy. Foreign currency is analogous to a security portfolio providing an yield. The yield is okay. So what they are discussing is whenever a currency future and forward is involved, then you have to also factor in risk-free rate that you get on the foreign currency. So formula is F0 equals S0 spot e to the power R minus RF to the power T multiplied by T. So this is again arbitrage. How do you do arbitrage? Either when we have discussed this. So arbitrage is possible in currency also. So either if the calculate of the actual forward price is less or greater, you depend on that, you do some things. So see the Excel file for better representation than this thing. So it makes it more complex. Now in terms of consumption assets, sometimes you have to store those assets. So storage can be either as a cost, right? So you need to calculate present value and use it in the formula, or it can be in terms of yield. So cost of carry can be involved. For investment asset, cost of carry is simply C to the power T. For consumption assets, and whenever and yield is there, this formula we also saw that in Excel. So it is S0 e to the power C minus convenience yield to the power T. Okay. Now again there should be a relationship between estimated spot price and the current forward price. So whenever that relationship is there, you can use it. If the relationship, you can find out whether the relationship holds or not. So F0, that is current forward price, equals estimated spot price e to the power R minus K and multiplied by T. R is risk-free rate, K is the discount rate dependent on risk of investment. So if K is greater than R, the forwards would trade at a lower price than expected spot. If K is less than R, then spot price, then for forward price will be higher than estimated spot. Okay. If there is positive systematic risk, that is the investment is more risky than risk free, this equation holds true. If there is negative systematic risk, then this equation holds true. That's it in chapter 5.